Welcome to today's painting tutorial. In this episode, we're going to paint a hawk with acrylic paints. So let's get started. I'm going to start with a size 0 round brush. I'm going to take some black paint and then fill in the center of the eye. If you want to paint along with me, you can find this sketch linked in the description below. And I will also link all the colors that I am using. And now I'm going to take the black and then go around the outside of the eye. And now let's switch to another brush. I'm going to use a bit of a larger size 0 round brush. And I'm going to take some burnt umber and let's work on outlining the different areas of the sketch. This is going to help define the painting and keep our lines in order. And then we also have a moon shape up at the top here. So I'm going to outline that as well. And now I'm going to switch to a larger brush. I have a size 6 filbert. And I'm going to take kind of a watery mix of this burnt umber and start to build some shadows. So I can start building some form and three-dimensional shape. I'm looking at the reference photo and squinting my eyes so I can see where those darkest darks and shadows are. Now I'm going to switch to a larger brush. I have a size 9 filbert and I want to make a tone as an underpainting. So I have this burnt sienna, which is a great color for an underpainting. And I'm going to put some paper behind the moon. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a layer of tone around the moon. Now go ahead and do that same thing to the hawk. And we're just trying to cover up all of that white space. Now we can start adding some layers of color. And I want to start with the moon. It's good when you're painting two subjects because you can let one dry while you work on the other. So for the moon, I have this pastel yellow color. I want to make a darker version of that. So I'm going to take some gray, mix that in with the yellow, and then put that in as a shadow around the moon. And I'm getting really close to that edge of the burnt umber. And I'm covering that up. Okay, and now I can lighten that. So I'm gonna take some beige and mix that with the yellow. And then see how that color looks as a transition color. Add a layer of that. Then I could go with the straight yellow. And add that in, and I can kind of blend the colors as well. And then moons have a lot of texture in them. So I'm gonna take some of this gray, mix it with a little bit of the yellow, and then see if I can make just some different random texture marks. That kind of looks like the craters on the moon. And now let's move back to the hawk. So I'm going to take that larger size 0 brush and let's take some of this dark gray and add a little black to it. And then let's put that around the beak. Okay, let's shift that lighter. I'm going to add more gray. And then I'm going to shift it even lighter, add a little bit of white into the gray. And then add a little bit more white. So we can go around that edge there. So that's just a nice subtle gradation of color. Nice way that you can make a very subtle color shift. Okay, and then we'll move up to this area, which has quite a bit of yellow in it. Actually gonna take some gray and go around this nose piece, the nostril. Then let's take some yellow and go around that outside edge. I'm going to add a little bit of burnt sienna. And then I'm going to take some yellow and a little bit of white. Or maybe a little bit more white there. And then I see some yellow around the mouth, so I will take this yellow and then we can start to kind of go around the mouth a little bit. And now let's work more with the eye. So I'm going to take another layer of this burnt sienna and go around this area of the eye. Then I'm going to rinse off my brush. And I want to try to lift up some of this paint. That's going to create kind of a glowing effect. Okay, and then we have a bit of a yellow color around the eye. It's a little muted, so we'll add a little bit of beige. And we can go around the black part of the eye. Try to leave some of the black there as well. Okay, and then we can transition to a gray color and go around the eye with some gray. Okay, I'm going to take some burnt umber and add a bit of a shadow in the eye over the top. It's going to give the eye quite a bit of dimension. Okay, so now let's start adding in some of these feathers. So I'm going to take the burnt umber and I notice around this area, there's some smaller feathers. And then up along here, the feathers start to get a little bit larger. And just kind of flick your brush. Then after you get through that part, you have some larger feathers. So we could grab that larger filbert. And then I'm going to move back to that zero round. And let's take some of the gray paint. Let's put in some of these feather shapes with the gray. And then you could use that larger filbert with some of the gray, and you can go around some of these feathers, just kind of making a shadow for some of them. That'll add some dimension to your piece. Okay, so now let's add some beige in there. And ideally, you'd want to let these layers kind of dry in between. So let's work a little bit on the moon while those are drying a little bit. So we'll take some of the white paint and let's add maybe a few little highlights into the moon. And then let's take the beige and add some feathers in there with the beige paint. Okay, I can switch to the larger brush and add some beige areas into these larger feathers. And now let's add some white. So we'll take some white paint. And I'm just going to use that to add some smaller feathers along the face. And then we have some larger feathers around the chest area. We'll put some of those in with the white. Okay, and then we can kind of come back with our darker values, so our burnt umber, and bring some of those back. And add a little bit of a light gray around here. Okay, so I'm going to take this 0 round brush and let's kind of define the mouth a little bit more because we lost a little bit of that. And then I'm going to let's add some more definition to the eye. So I'm going to take this burnt umber and go around the eye. And then let's take some white paint and add the highlight to the eye. And then I'm going to take some black paint and I want to emphasize this eyelid right here. So we have kind of a triangular shape. And then I might add a little bit of the beige kind of along this area. I'm going to make that a little darker with some burnt umber. Okay, and I think we will call this complete. Please like and subscribe for more painting tutorials, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.